Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tatiana Show. Today is January 23rd, 2017, and I am broadcasting to you live from my mother's kitchen. Nothing but the most glamorous locations for me. As you can tell, I'm dressed for the occasion with sparkles to match the countertops, and okay, they're not sparkle. Anyway, I'm really excited to be here with you guys today. I just got back from DC, which was a trip in itself. I'll probably talk a little bit about that later. But we've got a couple good guests on today. Unfortunately, Josh from Voltoro is still not back yet, but I think he will be in 2 weeks. So if you guys, want to find him, he's on Twitter at Voltoro. Yeah. So before we get started, I just wanted to say thanks to our sponsors, the BitcoinCPA.com. He helps me stay out of jail because he does my taxes. And if you guys have problems with your Bitcoin taxes, because that can get a little complicated, Kirk can help you out. He's also got a book about Bitcoin for businesses. We've also got Crypto Compare. Those guys are also quite cool. They will tell you all about crypto that you need to know. They've got all different kinds of charts and stuff on their site. So you can go to cryptocompare.com. I want to give a shout out to Third Key Solutions. Pamela Morgan over there is a good friend and has been giving me a lot of great advice. So I wanted to show her some love on the Tatiana Show. Sovereign Tech, another supporter of the Tatiana Show. Brian Sovereign is an awesome patron saint of the Tatiana world. And I also really like his show, Sex and Science Hour, that he does with the hyper-intelligent Dr. Stephanie Murphy, who's also on Let's Talk Bitcoin. And finally, I'm going to be at Anarchapulco at the end of the month. So if you're planning on going at the end of February, go to anarchapulco.com. And if you use the code Tatiana, you will get 10% off of the ticket price. So, I don't know, good way to save some money. And let's get to it. So our first guest today is Alejandro de la Torre. I think I did it with sufficient gusto. Hey, Alejandro, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So Alejandro's from BTC.com. And before we got on the show, we had our other guest, Jordan Page, and Alejandro asked him, "What are you?" And Jordan said, "I'm a rock star." And Alejandro said that he used to be a rock star. But Jordan and I informed him that you never stop being a rock star. So before we get into all this Bitcoin stuff, when did you play guitar or lead your rock star life?
Well, I didn't play guitar or lead a rock star life. I was kind of, I wasn't kind of, I was an artist manager for a few bands and DJs in the Netherlands and in Benelux, actually. So I was not the rock star, but I was hanging out with them.
Well, you were probably babysitting them, but manager sounds a lot better. Yes, artists require some coddling from time to time.
It was fun but challenging. Good times.
So tell me, you also have a bit of an artist background, right? How did you get into? Give me your backstory. How did you get into Bitcoin, and what about this mysterious creative life that you lived before you got into Bitcoin?
Well, I used to, before I was in Bitcoin, I was a art reseller for a couple art galleries here in the Netherlands. And I was also artist manager for, I had my own company, worked with some pretty big artists, I'd say, American hip hop group, so some rockers as well, DJs. I was into the whole creative side of, in the business side of things, but in the creative field. But I was always into tech. I was always a gamer. I'm a big gamer. And looked to used to work with building my own computers since I was a kid, setting up my servers for games and all these sort of things, playing, making my own maps and games and stuff. So I was always into the tech side of things. So I decided to put all three together: my tech, knowledge and love and creativity and business, and here I am in Bitcoin.
So how did you hear about Bitcoin, and how long ago was that?
It was early 2013. I read the white paper after seeing the price increase. I'm not going to lie to anyone here. I read the white paper, saw what it was all about. I really thought it was amazing. The white paper really just opened up, it made me see the potential in Bitcoin. So I bought some Bitcoins. I had already bought some Bitcoins. I kept on getting into Bitcoin, and I saw a few when I first early 2013 was like the companies. There was not a lot of companies there, so I saw a gap for entrepreneurship. So I started seeing what we could do to help adopt Bitcoin. That was always my my goal, Bitcoin, since day one. Just get it adopted. I saw lots of things we could do, so I started working. I got into some altcoins, did some things for an app. And eventually that landed me with Blocktrail that acquired my small little app that I had called SendChat. And Blocktrail worked here for a while and then moved into, Blocktrail was acquired by Bitmain just a year ago, or a little bit less than a year ago. And now we've rebranded to BTC.com.
So what kind of services do you guys offer? Bitmain still has its own name, but you guys are just a subsidiary, right?
That's correct, yeah. So now we just rebranded from Blocktrail to BTC.com. We provide the wallet, Bitcoin wallet, multi-platform. We provide a Bitcoin mining pool, block explorer, and an API.
Okay, very cool. So if people want to get into mining, do you think that that's worth it at this point? I mean, generally the assumption is that regular people can't even get into mining. Do you guys have cloud mining or is it just regular mining?
No, it's just regular mining. It's a mining pool. So it's number 9 now in top 10. It's like I think it was number 9 earlier today. Mining is profitable if you have a substantial amount of capital to invest, and it's a big operation. I wouldn't recommend it for anyone. It's a serious operation and with some serious cash and serious knowledge needed.
Mm-hmm. So what are some of the things that you guys are looking to do now that you guys have been acquired and you're growing? Like what's on the trajectory?
Well, the first order of business is to grow our team. We're growing very quickly. We just hired one other person's coming in next week, another developer. We're looking for marketing interns. We're looking for people in the business side, more developers. We're really trying to grow as fast as we can. The reason being that we want to grow the Bitcoin wallet to be a worldwide Bitcoin wallet, to be the brand. When people want to use Bitcoin, they should be able to. The first wallet should be BTC.com. So that's what we're trying to do. And in order to do that, we're actually coming up with some pretty exciting things. We're partnering with services all over the world to allow our users to buy and sell Bitcoin in the app. That's one of our first roadmap. And we're also going to be including the app in Spanish and all different types of languages: Dutch, German, French.
Okay. So when people can buy Bitcoin on your app, does that mean that they're basically doing KYC and they're linking it to the bank account? How does that work?
No, we'll be partnering with Bitcoin brokers in different jurisdictions. So we don't want to know anything about our users, and that we won't touch that, and we don't touch their funds either. So we're like a really purely Bitcoin company. We allow our users to control their own Bitcoins with a 2 out of 3 multi-signature scheme. If they choose to buy or sell Bitcoin in our app, it will be through trusted Bitcoin brokers like ones that they've already used in their countries that have been around for a long time. So we don't want to do that, and we won't do it. We won't touch that.
Okay. So what do you think of the impact of cryptocurrency on the arts? Do you think that where do you see the opportunities there?
That's a good question. Well, just recently, let me give you an example. We have some old miners here at the office in Amsterdam. They're called the U3 miners from Bitmain. And some artists here, some local artists here from Berlin, came to the office and asked if they could have one of these miners for art installation that they wanted to do. So that's one way to do it. I mean, that's pretty interesting, using a Bitcoin miner for art installation. I don't think it's been done before. So that's one way. I mean, it really depends on what the artists want to do.
Right. I guess what I was more wondering is like, I'm doing my Tatiana coin stuff. There's different ways that artists are registering their work online. There's people that are doing tipping and stuff like that. Have you seen anything that you think would really catch on, in your opinion?
I guess you could build like a supply chain finance type of coin where publishers and users get paid for their songs without having a third party, um, like a third party publishing company, like what I used to, or a manager, what I used to be. So it
Hmm.
goes straight to the artist and straight to the consumer. That's one way to do it. Sure, yeah.
Right. So basically, this is going to put you out of job, but luckily you already have one.
Yeah,
So
luckily I
you
don't.
saw it coming. You were like, forget these
Yeah,
people. I'm out of here. These people are too moody.
they
Um,
are.
okay, cool. Well, what do you think of this space? So you guys are based in Amsterdam, right? How is the Bitcoin scene out there?
It's big. It's big. We have a monthly meeting called Bitcoin Wednesday,
Hmm.
which we always go to, where they lots of companies and individuals, entrepreneurs from the Netherlands and from Benelux or Germany come over and present their ideas and talk, and it's wonderful. We also have um, BitTonic, which is a big Dutch Bitcoin broker that's been around since early 2013. Yeah, and BitPay also has some. I think has their European HQ. I think yeah, it's their European headquarters also in Amsterdam, not too far from our office actually. So yeah, so it's nice. It's nice, and we have Arnhem Bitcoin Stad, which is not in Amsterdam, but it's in the Netherlands, which is the Bitcoin city of the future or whatever. You can buy Bitcoin in the supermarket. You can buy anything. You can just live off Bitcoin there. So that's really
Where
cool.
is that? What's the
And
story with that?
it's in Arnhem. It's a small city in the Netherlands. So there's this company there that allows for what they did is they basically did a merchant service for everyone in this little city, and they don't apply any fees to their service. So everyone just accepted Bitcoin because it was free and no problem. And yeah, it catched on. So you can use you can even use it in the supermarket. So that's pretty cool. You can buy your food every day with that.
Wow. So
Yeah.
when did they start doing that? Have they gotten a lot of press around it? I mean, have people wanted to go there because, maybe making it into Bitcoin vacation destination?
Yeah. There's been pretty good PR from that initiative. There is a meetup over there, although it's a very small city in the middle of the Netherlands, so it's not a lot of people living there. But yeah, it's gotten pretty good. A lot of people know about it, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, are you going to go to any kind of conferences or anything? Do you guys have anything big planned for the year?
Yeah. So we have various things that we have planned for the year. Like I said, we're gonna be moving on to very exciting integration soon in the Americas and also in Europe. Um, just gonna leave it like that. We'll be going to all the conferences, and I have here my conference schedule on the wall. Where yeah, we're gonna go. Basically, we'll be in many places. We're gonna push hard the wallet. You'll probably be seeing me speaking and giving presentations in most of these conferences to help push the wallet. I mean, we want to be the number one wallet in the space, so we're really gonna do that.
What do you think makes your wallet so distinctive? And why would it be, like what are some of the values and some of the things that make it different from the other ones?
Sure, that's a good question. Like I said earlier, the our philosophy is the Bitcoin philosophy. So we don't hold your funds. You are your own bank. And another thing that we pride ourselves on is the how easy it is to use our app. It's really simple to use. You don't have to have any technical knowledge beforehand. We have certain features that allow for more mainstream users to get easily into the whole Bitcoin space, the whole how to use it easier. Like for example, you can send Bitcoins to your contacts or having the Bitcoin address, and that's a big feature that our users like because most users don't want to be copying down these complicated, addresses, Bitcoin addresses. So yeah, so it's simple, easy to use, and we are also very secure. We have many years of Bitcoin experience in the security, because we had an API with a multi-signature. We have lots of years of experience in that, and a lot of people trust us. A lot of companies trust our API. So we use the same safety features that from our API. We've ported that to the wallet, so it's the same, infrastructure there. I think you're muted. Oh. Hello?
Yeah, no, I just lost connection. I don't know what happened. So I just lost the last part of what you said. I think the audience got to hear it, so we're okay. Are you guys going to do anything kind of cryptocurrencies, or you're only focusing on Bitcoin? Because you said that earlier you were interested in altcoins when you first started out.
No, we're
Are
only
you now?
No, we're sticking with Bitcoin only. We're a Bitcoin only company at the moment. We don't see any at the moment. We don't see any other alternative coins. Well, let me put it this way: we want to first grow our. I think she's gone again. Oh no, you're there.
No, I'm here.
Okay. We want to grow our user base in Bitcoin first, and then possibly move into other altcoins. But first things first, get Bitcoin adoption rate. We want to help the adoption of Bitcoin first, that, and then we'll look into other things. But we have to focus on on Bitcoin first.
Are you concerned about, any kind of regulations or anything coming down the pipeline? I think most people in space feel pretty secure with Bitcoin at this point. Do you think that you're going to run into any kind of problems like that? Or is that why you guys are not holding the Bitcoins for people?
Well, the reason why we're not holding Bitcoin for people is because we believe in the Bitcoin philosophy of being your own bank, but it's an added benefit in the sense of regulatory concerns. Since we're not a custodial wallet, it's a different ball game for us, and yeah, so it's an added benefit. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, is there anything else that you want to talk about?
I don't know. You told me. when
Well,
we
no,
should.
I think
We should. We want to also. Oh yeah, first thing, we were hiring. So if there's anyone out there that's listening that wants to work in Bitcoin, please come. Let us know. We're if you have any experience in Bitcoin, we take that as a very important aspect, I say. And we're gonna be doing hackathons. And if you have any cool ideas, anyone anyone that's listening, if you have any cool ideas about Bitcoin that you want to expand Bitcoin in your area, or throw a hackathon, or even if it's in some, not necessarily in the West, it could be in South America, Africa, wherever it may be. Just reach out to us, and we'll gladly take a look at it, and maybe we can help you out in whatever it is we can do. We want to help spread Bitcoin adoption, and that's what that's. So if you bring us something to us, let us know. Just bring it over. We'll take a look.
Let me ask you one question. So when people are applying to code, because I'm not a coder, do they need to know how to do stuff with Bitcoin already, or can you just be a regular old coding person?
You can be. Yeah. You can. If you're applying for the development side, then yeah, you need to. It's better if you have some Bitcoin experience, but it's not a. We'll still look at you anyway. We'll still take a look at the CV and anything. But it helps
Right.
if you start with Bitcoin.
Is there some sort of special difference about coding in that regard, or it's more just a familiarity with how crypto works and stuff?
Yeah, it's just familiarity. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So where can people get all the information that they want to know? BTC.com. What about you?
Yep.
If people want to reach out to you, how can they reach you?
You can reach me at Twitter, where I'm mostly active on. It's arroba at bit entrepreneur. That's my handle. Bit entrepreneur. Which I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur now, but whatever.
I think spelling entrepreneur is one of the hardest words ever. It embarrasses me every time I misspell it.
Yeah, it's a hard one. Yeah. I get that all
Okay,
the time.
cool. So they
Thanks.
can find you on there. They can go to btc.com and then yeah, we'll leave all those links in the bottom of the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Tatiana. It was fun. Thanks
All right.
again.
Take care. Bye now.
Bye.
All right, everybody. So now you know everything you need to know about btc.com. And our next guest, we're going to bring him up in just a few minutes. He is coming from, I don't know, where is Jordan right now? I think he's in Washington. I'm excited to have him on. Jordan, this is his second time on the show. He's a musician friend of mine. We have done a million shows together all around the country, spreading the message of freedom. But, you know, we're evolving a little bit, and both of us, I think, have found some disappointment in the solutions offered through protesting and all that stuff. So before I bring him on, just a quick shout out to freeross.org. If you are buying anything on Amazon, you can go to freeross.org and click on the Amazon button, and then you can automatically be assigning a portion of your proceeds to the Ross Ulbricht fund to get him out of prison. He's currently serving double life plus 40 years for all nonviolent crimes with a very sketchy case. And great, but let's bring Jordan on. Jordan Page, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much, my friend. How are you?
I'm good, just hanging, you know, Jersey styles.
As always.
Yeah, so Jordan is on the West Coast, and I called him this morning and I said, "Do you know that we're doing this so early?" And he didn't know. So I'm really glad that you're able to join us, because yeah,
too.
it's a very early time over there. What time is it where you are? 8:30?
Yeah, let me see. It's about 20 of 9. But you know, my little ones get me up pretty early, but I was a little groggy when you called. Sorry.
No problem. I'm glad that we were able to make it. Are you still going to play us a song today, even though you're groggy?
Yeah, I'll play you a song, absolutely.
Oh, good. Okay, cool. I like that. So do you want to tell me a little bit about this, your latest stuff that you've been working on? Fill me in. What's going on? And also, maybe give people a brief overview of who you are. Some of our shows are new. Our listeners are new to your music and stuff. So, yeah, got any news?
Sure, absolutely. Let's see. Do you still have me?
I do, but I lost your video for a second.
Okay.
When you
I don't have video, but if you can see me, then that's cool. Well, my name's Jordan Page. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a musician and political activist. I've been doing this for about 10 years. I got pretty heavily involved in the Ron Paul movement and opened for Dr. Paul quite a few times on and off the presidential campaign trails. And I tour nationally all through the U.S. Just educating people on the fundamental principles of freedom. And I write a lot of songs, condemning war and government corruption. And I tend to kick asses on both sides of the political aisle. I identify more as libertarian/anarchist, and I am, I'm out here just fighting for freedom. There's a lot of different issues that I care about, and I've been very active in the anti-war movement and the pro-Second Amendment movement. I'm very passionate about jury rights, jury nullification, and Bitcoin for sure. And but over the last few years, the issue that really has taken a lot of precedence for me, it kind of crept up on me actually, was cannabis freedom. And the more I was educated on cannabis, I mean, I've in my early youth, I smoked enough cannabis to kill a small elephant. So I'm well educated on cannabis. However, I had a very undisciplined understanding of cannabis and kind of a childish understanding, I think, too. And I've spent the last couple of years really educating myself about the healing nature of the plant and about the history of prohibition in America. The actual reasons why we are where we are with it. And I've taken up this mantle as a cannabis freedom activist now. And even though I don't actually recreationally smoke it anymore, and I haven't for many, many years, but I believe very much in the healing power of the plant. and in decriminalization across the board. So over the course of the last couple of years, I've been speaking a lot about it. I've written a song about it that I'm going to be releasing this year, as part of a larger media effort to raise awareness. And I am now, I got involved with an incredible company that's called Cannasense, Cannasense. And so Cannasense was started by my dear friend Neil Schloss, who is a very successful CPA in Hightstown, New Jersey. And I knew him through the Ron Paul movement. We know each other for years. He's been a good friend to me and a sponsor for many things that I've done. And Neil, about 13 years ago, he and a cannabis activist named Luis Santiago got together, and they put together Cannasense. And what it is, it's a medical cannabis collective, and it is in very strict compliance with a number of state and federal laws that allow it to operate the way that it does. And essentially, there's three laws that people need to be aware of. That create, I don't want to say a loophole around Schedule 1, but it's a way around. It's a way around that roadblock. It is being in compliance with these laws. There's a pretty sound legal argument for this. So what ends up happening is the Compassionate Use Act of California in 1996 was a groundbreaking law in its time that allowed people to become patients of a medical cannabis collective and get access to their cannabis medication with the recommendation of a doctor. So then along comes Obamacare, and Obamacare created telemedicine. And telemedicine is seeing your medical professionals over the internet through a teleconference call. And so you don't have to leave your house, and you can actually get your prescriptions that way.
Was that for all kinds of doctor's visits?
That's for everything. Yeah, everything. Telemedicine has integrated itself into the medical establishment in America, and not just America, but globally, to where now it's an industry standard. So even if Obamacare gets repealed, it's not going to matter, because telemedicine is now everyone uses it now. It's just, it's the advent of this technology has changed the medical landscape quite a bit. And so it's here to stay. But
I'm confused by something, though. You said that in '96 they made this, pot club in California. I didn't think that you could use even medical marijuana until the 2000s in California. Or was medical use approved earlier than that?
Again, like this particular law was very groundbreaking in its time, and really paved the way for the situation in California as it is now.
Okay.
I me, I'm a research nut, and quite a few other laws and companies and collectives exist because of the Compassionate Use Act. The Compassionate Use Act of '96 is cited all the time as the legal justification for all different kinds of things to go on. But it's not the end of the story. The clincher of this is the trifecta of laws here that we work with is the U.S. Constitution, which I don't need to tell you is the supreme law of the United States.
Supposedly.
Supposedly. But Article 4, Section 1 is a reciprocity clause that says full faith and credit shall be given to every state that the laws and acts and statutes passed will be honored in every other state, regardless of whether or not that state's laws are different. And so what that means is that every state in America has to honor the Compassionate Use Act. So what we do is through the advent of
specifically.
Yeah, say that again.
But why that one specifically?
Why that clause?
Yeah,
Oh no! Why do they have to? Well, they have basically every state has to honor each other's laws under Article 4, Section 1, and Congress has the right, according to the Constitution, to determine how that's applied, but it's very broad. And so what we do is we take advantage of this by setting up patients with a teleconference call with a California doctor through a doctor service called Presto Doctor. And we set everyone up with these teleconference appointments with California doctors. They get a California medical card and a California recommendation, which is their prescription for membership in the Cannabis Collective, and they become California patients. So you're in New Jersey or New York, and you would be living there, but you'd be a California patient, just whose state of residence is New Jersey. I've got patients that I work with in Georgia, in Texas, South Carolina. I mean, states where there are no medical marijuana laws whatsoever. I mean, we're still talking about less than half of the country has have any semblance of any legal marijuana legislation. And so CannAscends is really the answer to that and to the medical refugee crisis, because people don't have to leave their homes, because we will actually ship right to their homes. So you become a patient, and then you have access to our apothecary on the site, which is our store. And with your patient ID that you get as a result of the appointment, you get a membership with the CannAscends Collective. You get access to the store, and we ship right to your home, regardless of where you live. And but we have to go through a very specific process, a very strict process, and that allows us to do what we do. Okay, but we are in absolute compliance with the Compassionate Use Act and the Affordable Care Act and the U.S. Constitution. There's a number of Supreme Court cases that back this up, as well as a literal interpretation of the Commerce Clause, and as well as the 10th Amendment, which reserves the rights not given to the federal government, the states, or the people, and that's you and me. And people have a right to have their medicine.
So you don't even have to be, I mean, look, so then I should be able to get, I don't know, I guess I find it, how long has this been going on for? I have many questions. I'm formulating them as we go. How long have you guys been doing this for? And were you involved from the very beginning?
I was not involved from the very beginning. This has been 13 years in the making. CannAscends has a team of lawyers who have basically put this together over more than a decade.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, it took a long time to formulate this streamlined process. This is actually the most inexpensive, fastest way to get access to medical cannabis in the country. I've looked into lots of different states, what their laws are, what the process is. I've asked actual patients about the process of getting their medical card, getting access. And for many people, not everyone, but for many people, it really is a nightmare of jumping through hoops and asking permission to have your medicine. And it can be a very expensive process, hundreds of dollars for the appointments and for the card. And you also have to renew your doctor recommendation several times a year. In New Jersey, I believe it's every 3 months. And I think it's $125 every time you do. So it adds up and adds up and adds up, and you have to continually ask for permission. With CannAscends, the entire doctor's process for getting the appointment, the card, the recommendation, a treatment plan, and the shipping of the card is $65. And then you only have to renew once a year. So and once you have the recommendation, which you get the same day as your appointment, you can actually sometimes be approved for CannAscends within the same day. Usually it's just one business day it takes to get approved and get your patient ID. So it really is like the fastest and cheapest way to get access to cannabis.
How do you know people aren't just using it recreationally? Like a lot of people in California, they go into the pot shop and they say, "Oh, my head hurts, give me weed," and then and then it's pretty lax. Is that something that you guys feel the need to even be concerned about, or how does that work?
Well, we advocate for responsible use. Obviously, I mean the legal limit is 2 ounces per month per patient. So people aren't able to buy like pounds of cannabis from us. You're buying it in like medicinal quantities, but it's not our it's not a concern that we have, and it's not our place to question our patients' motives. I mean, we're just helping people get access to the medication that they need. And who's to say that maybe someone doesn't have a medical condition, but a spiritual condition, I mean, and they want to be uplifted with cannabis in that regard. I mean, that's not something that we're very concerned about. I mean, everyone deserves to have access to this plant. So we're just helping people get connected.
Has it been challenged yet? I mean, have you guys run into any kind of legal stuff where people are going to start getting in trouble, or where they're trying to get you guys in trouble, I guess?
This is a great question. I'm glad you asked it because I have an answer for that. So it has not been challenged, and we don't anticipate that it will be. But if it ever did, if any of our members or patients ever did have any legal ramifications for having cannabis, whether consuming it or having it in their possession, there is a foundation that was set up called the Cannabis Foundation. And the Cannabis Foundation has several areas of charitable work that it does. But the most important is the Legal Defense Fund. And there's an endowment with the Cannabis Foundation to pay for a fully paid for legal defense team for any member or patient that ever had any legal problems as a result of using cannabis. So if one of our members or patients were to be arrested or charged for possession or use, the Cannabis Foundation would actually pay for their lawyer, for their legal team themselves. And
Right,
the
but what if
patient
all
member
your
would not have
customers?
any.
What
Say
if
again?
everybody does it? What if everybody does it at the same time? You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden the feds get wind of it. They're like, forget these, stoners. I'm going to get them. I don't care if they're all dying of cancer and using this for health. And then they just start flooding everybody. Wouldn't that just wipe out the legal fund? Or do you think that would be, how would that be managed? And would they be responsible, or would it be the responsibility of Cannabis to be, I mean, they would just be users versus you guys would be drug dealers? Not that I think that there's anything wrong with it, but in the eyes of the law, maybe that's how they would view it.
Sure. Well, it's important to remember that technically, in the eyes of the law, we are in compliance with the law. We actually go to great pains to be in strict compliance with the laws, and that is the argument that we would use. It's fortunate that I guess like 80% of the board of directors of Cannabis are high-powered attorneys, and would actually probably provide a lot of the legal support themselves, as well as any situation where it needed to be paid for. The Cannabis Foundation was more than well equipped to handle it. But they've been shipping for a year. We've been operational for all of 2016 and have had tremendous growth every single month consistently. And it hasn't even happened once. So it's not something that we're extremely concerned about happening like across the board. And Cannabis, the organization, assumes all legal liability until the package reaches the patient's hands. So and Cannabis is perfectly capable of defending itself, of course, too. As I mentioned, we have a lot of lawyers that are part of this organization and help to formulate the legal framework under which we're able to operate.
Okay, interesting. How many users
did I answer the question, or did I answer the question?
So.
Okay.
I think so.
Sometimes when I get going, I circle around myself. I just want to make sure that I answered the question adequately.
No, I think that answers some of my concerns. How many users do you guys have right now? And where do you get your supply from? Is it all California brokers or Denver, or how does that even work?
Right. So I am not 100% sure how many members we have. It's quite a lot now. We've seen, I guess, 19% monthly growth since for the entire fiscal year of 2016. So that's month to month. It's 19% more and more every month, which is phenomenal growth. But I don't have access to how many members that we actually have. I'm a caregiver with the company and I'm working as a consultant for them also, and I'm very interested in helping the company to grow. And so I'm pursuing a lot of different avenues for them in that arena.
That was I was going to ask, like, what kind of partnerships are you guys open to doing? Are you finding other kinds of like businesses that you can kind of partner with? For example, I don't know, like those hippie doctors that you can make partnerships with. Like, how are you guys planning on growing besides word of mouth?
Sure. Well, as far as doctors go, Tatiana, there's several questions you asked. I'm going to get to all of them. So as far as doctors go, we partner exclusively with Presto Doctor. They're a well-known telemedicine service based out of California, and they see patients 7 days a week. Sunday to Sunday they see patients. So we have a well-established relationship with them and use them exclusively. As far as growers go, and where do we get the supply from? We partner with a number of different vendors, from seed companies to actual cannabis growers. We have relationships with different companies that do all the extractions themselves. It's all organic cannabis. And we have many different vendors that we sell through the store. It's funny, we're actually just partnered with Whoopi Goldberg's cannabis company. She partnered with a cannabis entrepreneur in California, and their company is called Whoopi and Maya, and they make cannabis products specifically for women. And they actually have a chocolate product that helps with the menstrual cycle, with all the symptoms of the menstrual cycle. And they have a lot of different things, but I contacted them, and we're actually getting their products in the store, I think this week. There's a lot of different vendors, and we're always open to partnering with new ones. And it happens sometimes that we'll have a potential patient who wants to join, but there's one specific cannabis product that they tried when they were in Colorado, and it's the only thing they've ever used that helps and works. And so, but it's not in our store. And so what we'll do is we'll contact that vendor, and we'll partner with them to get it in the store specifically for that patient. We actually go to great lengths to be accommodating to patients. There's a huge Lyme disease community. I never understood the plague that Lyme disease is on the human race until I joined up with CannaSense. There are so many Lyme patients, and it's a debilitating, very painful disease, and it's very unfortunate. But cannabis is extremely effective at treating treating Lyme, and all of our concentrated products in the store are Lyme safe, and we are already batch testing one sativa, one indica, and one hybrid of the flowers to make them in compliance for Lyme patients as well, because Lyme patients can't have any.
Why is that? Yeah, what makes them Lyme compliant?
Well, Lyme patients cannot have any exposure to mold, toxins, pesticides, heavy metals, microbes. I mean, it can send them into a tailspin with their illness, and it can be debilitating for them. And so they have to be very careful about exposure. I have lots of Lyme patients that were exposed to mold at one point or another, and it exacerbated their illness tenfold. And so that is one concern when you're growing cannabis is mold, and the various other things that I mentioned, like the pesticides and whatnot. And that's why we batch test. I mean, everything gets batch tested, but it's a very expensive process to test for all the tests that you can get, that you can order. And so because there's such a demand from the Lyme community, we're actually spending the money to batch test 3 different strains of flowers so that they have them available to smoke, and so that they'll be safe for them to consume, and they will be labeled Lyme safe. And that process is actually going on right now. So we have many different strains of cannabis in the store, including the Jordan Page strain, thank you very much, which has an extremely high THC rating. So buyer beware. You will be floating around Jupiter if you consume Jordan Page.
Damn it, I want one. I'm so jealous. Damn it.
Yeah, it was like the greatest day of my life when I learned that. So, but it's it really is a blessing. I mean, I talk to patients all day, every day. People cry on the phone sometimes. This is an answer to their prayers. Most of the people I talk to are older folks who have never smoked cannabis in their life. They don't have any idea what to do. Couldn't get it if they tried. And here we come with a very streamlined, easy way for them to get access to this life-saving medication. Most people don't know that every human body is endowed with an endogenous cannabis system that is basically like the internet of the human body. It's a communication network that has receptors that use cannabis to keep all the other systems in line and in homeostasis. And when a system gets out of line, the cannabis system, when it's employed with cannabis, can bring it back to center again. And we all produce cannabinoids ourselves every day. It's more and more research is pointing to this idea that when the body is cannabis deficient, that's when a lot of problems happen. And I find that very, very ironic and interesting information, and most people don't know. And so part of this mission is to educate folks on the cannabis system, on how it works, and why this has become illegal in the first place, and who benefits from it, and more and more people. The culture is waking up, and we know this. And I am, I'm very, very proud to be, part of this particular section of the cannabis industry in the medical side, and helping people get access to this medicine, because, I mean, everybody needs it. We were designed to interact with this plant, whether you believe it was God or evolution or aliens, whatever you believe, we were designed to interact with this plant, and or else we wouldn't have a cannabis system in our bodies. We don't have a broccoli system, we don't have a cauliflower system. We have a freaking cannabis system. So it's important that people are consuming it in responsible ways and in healthy ways. I mean, when I was growing up, I wasn't being responsible or healthy about it. I was smoking as much as I could to get as blazed as I could. I had no appreciation for what this plant is and what it can actually do. I was seeking something very selfish, rather than using it in a responsible way to heighten my spiritual connection or to heal my body.
Did you ever find, I mean, do you guys sell anything that doesn't make people high?
Oh yeah, we probably have more products that don't make you high than we do. I'm sorry, I'm just going to go get my my charger because I'm running out of juice here.
Well, you're also going to play us a song, so we would hate for you to lose signal while we were in the middle of the rocking and the melting of faces.
Let's see, where can I plug in here?
Well, while we're doing that, I'm going to talk to everybody about the magic word. So we broadcast this show on liberty.me, on Let's Talk Bitcoin, on IPM Nation, on LRN.FM, and basically one of the things for Let's Talk Bitcoin is people like to earn LTB coins by proving that they listened. So we need to come up with a magic phrase. I had it. I'm going to say, use your cannabis wisely. That's going to be the phrase, so people can be using it with measure. Use your cannabis wisely. That is the magic phrase for today. If you guys are at home and you're wanting to earn your LTB coins, I don't know how much they're giving them out right now, but you can prove that you've been listening to the show this way. Jordan, what do you think about the like the major companies, for example? There's a lot of companies that are getting out patents on marijuana, even though they are supposedly anti. The tobacco companies are trying to get in on the business. How do you see that affecting a company like Cannabis?
Can you hear me? You have me? Hello?
I'm saying, what do you think is going to be the effect of these large companies that are trying to get in on cannabis right now? Like the tobacco companies, the drug companies that before said it was horrible. Obviously, they're trying to set up these protectionist rackets as usual. But what do you see? What do you see the future of that looking like? Are you worrying about that at all?
I mean, it's definitely a concern, but the culture is waking up so fast that's why they're doing it. I mean, the US government owns the patent on medicinal marijuana, yet they're the ones keeping it. They're just trying to stall at this point, because the culture is waking up so fast and demanding cannabis, and so the culture is going to get what it wants. That's just how it works. It's just the nature of the beast. And these companies that you're speaking of are just trying to capitalize on it, because cannabis is one of the fastest emerging markets anywhere, and it's set to explode. So we're something that's so unique at this point in history, because 27 states, I believe, have no medical cannabis qualifications whatsoever, and we're getting people access through this system of law. So that we really don't have any competition in that regard. Plus, there are no other groups, no other cannabis collectives or otherwise that offer the legal safeguards that we do, And there really is nothing like CannAscents out there. I've been looking for something to compare it to, and there really isn't. And I talk to a lot of people in the cannabis industry, and a lot of folks who organize like the large conferences, and they're blown away by what we've accomplished and what we're doing. And I'm going to be doing some festivals and conferences and expos this year, and giving talks about and just trying to educate people on it.
Excellent. Okay, well, we're coming up to the end of the show. So before we leave the show, I definitely wanted to hear a song if you're still up for playing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you see me okay? Because I don't have any video.
Yep, we can see you just fine. So everybody go to jordanpagemusic.com. We're going to have Jordan Page playing right now. So what song are you going to play for us today, Jordan?
Well, this song is called Did You Know? And I wrote this for a new cannabis media network that's coming out this year, and is going to have a huge web presence, but is also going to have programming on some major television networks. And this song is hopefully going to be the theme song for the network, and it just talks about the legalities and prohibition, and just taking the power back into our hands.
Okay,
So this is Did You Know? Can you hear the guitar okay?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Okay, cool. Did you know something's going on, rising up from the water, creeping on the dawn? Did you know something's going wrong? Frequencies are changing, gotta put your arm on. Did you know there's information war, fighting for the truth, we can't ignore it anymore? Did you know we're settling the score for all of those who suffer while they lock away the cure? Can you hear the sound of the paradigm crashing down? Give me the strength to tear this open. Give me the words to heal the broken heart of this land, and stand provoking the path that I want the plants we're smoking. Did you know we're drowning in a lie? People are divided, white and black and left and right. Did you know the system of control is waiting for your answer? Pledge your living soul. Can you hear the sound of the paradigm crashing down? Give me the strength to tear this open. Give me the words to heal the broken heart of this land, and stand provoking the powers that want the plants I'm smoking. And with the sunrise revealing the great lies, our innocence dies and returns again. Inside a cage, let them rage and let them be reborn. Did you know there's a war on for your mind? Were you there? when you went blind. When you wake from the dream state, what you find is enough to send you running. Did you know that they're sitting on the cure? How much more will we all endure? Rise up, prepare yourselves before they come to drop the hammer down. So give us the strength to tear this open. Give us the words to heal the broken heart of this land and stand provoking. Cause everybody wants the plants we're smoking. Did you know, did you know, did you know?
Right on. Rock and roll!
Rock and roll!
I like that jam. Yeah, I like the high
Thank
part.
you.
Right on. Good. All right. So people, if they wanna get in on CannaSense, what do they do? Do they go to your website? Do they go to CannaSense website? What if they want to rock out with you? Give me your locations for other people to
Sure.
get
Well, yeah,
involved.
it's the website. The website for CannaSense is cannasense.com. And every new member has to be sponsored into the program, and so you know, if they can email me at jordanpagemusic@gmail.com, or they can email me at jpage@cannasense.com, and I can guide them through the process. I do it for patients all day, every day, and it's a very easy process. But my personal website's jordanpagemusic.com, and I'm going to have a CannaSense page on there very soon. I'm actually in the process of working that out, and I'm happy to sponsor anybody who wants to become this amazing medicine.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. Well, thank you, Jordan Page, for joining us today. Thank you to our audience. We'll be back next week. Please be sure to go to cryptocompare.com, thebitcoincpa.com, Sovereign Tech, great show. Third Key Solutions, wonderful company if you want to get secure, and freeross.org. And also, if you guys are going to Acapulco, use the code Tatiana and you will save 10%. So thank you very much, Jordan. Thank you, Alejandro, for joining us earlier today, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace out.